I'll be introducing, for those of you who may have just recently joined the BLP network, either as a business advisor or a growing SME, or even if you've been with us for a while, here's a quick refresher on what BLP is all about. So Business Link Pacific is funded by New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, MFAT, and is delivered by DT Global. We are working currently in 12 different countries, and you will have seen that on the screen. The program's main objective is to support small and medium-sized enterprises to harness the talent of local business advisors to improve operations and promote job creation. Business Link Pacific works in partnership with in-country partners such as Chamber of Commerce and Industry and local financial institutions who have direct access to local businesses and understand firsthand local needs and capacities. The Business Link Advisory Network is critical to provide quality services to entrepreneurs at various stages of their business needs with quality business advice. So that's a bit on what the Business Link Pacific is doing and where it's currently, what countries it's currently working with. Next slide, please, Sandra. So since 2018, Business Link Pacific has supported businesses in the Pacific, and if you will see from the screen, here are some key results statistics. 1,712 businesses have been connected with BLP advisors. We have 220 quality approved business advisors in the BLP network. As a result of support given to businesses, 1,109 new jobs have been created, of which 42% has been new jobs for women. So that's exemplary stats there. Over 2,700 subsidies have been secured by businesses to help with advisory service cost. So Business Link Pacific is doing a lot in the region, and these are some of the stats that you can read from the screen. So these are the main service. Next slide, sorry, Sandra. These are the main services provided to SMEs and business advisors. BLP has in-country representatives in each of our countries. Our business service managers are locally based, and their role is to help both SMEs and business advisors to access and make full use of the suite of BLP services. So if you're one of the an SME listening and have not yet reached out to any of the Business Link Pacific in your country, you can do so, and you will find a lot of help in the BLP services. BLP service also includes online diagnostic tools that includes business health checks and business continuity planner, finance finder, which is there to help SMEs to access finance and climate action sensor. All the free online tools are available on the SMEs to the SMEs on the SME portal, on the Business Link Pacific portal. We also do our grants. We have our grants. BLP also helps MSMEs with concessionary lending and has partnerships with key financial institutions across the Pacific. So BLP connects with suitable local business advisors to support them with their business issues. All advisors in the BLP network go through a quality assurance process. So the business advisors can apply for BLP subsidy with their clients to assist the cost of advisor and service fees. So these are some of the activities Business Link is doing, or some of the services that you as an SME or MSME can access through Business Link Pacific. Getting us back to our webinar for today. We can go to the next slide, please. We all know that exposure of our businesses is a main aspect of our business. So our webinar today focuses on setting up a social media page for your business. Here are some of the benefits that a social media page would do for your business. Firstly, showcase your brand to your customers. It also develops a loyal community through creating an emotional connection. Once you have a Facebook presence, you create emotional connection with your audiences. You also improve customer service, and that's by listening to feedback and you receive on Facebook, on social media page, and interacting with your audiences. We know that digital world is increasing, so an increased digital exposure is number one for your business. Social media presence also helps to boost traffic to your website if you have one. And you can also expand sales through customers' feedback that you get on social media. It's a cost-effective approach versus the many traditional marketing methods that you get to pay big bucks to get your business visibility. Social media is quite a cost-effective approach. So with this, I would like to now introduce guests who will be speaking to us today. Susan and Ronna, who are going to share their insights on setting up a social media page. Are you there, Susan and Ronna?
Yes,
here. I'm here.
Okay, they're here. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation to talk today. So both our guests are highly experienced in marketing and promotion, and we are thrilled that they could join us today. Welcome to you both. Susan is the Director Creative at Webmedia South Pacific, a full-service advertising, strategy communications, design and technology company delivering results on online and via guerrilla marketing and or traditional media channels. While being based in Suva, Fiji, Webmedia services clients throughout the Pacific region, plus some USA-based companies. It's been in operation since 2005, and they have over 700 clients. In her role, Susan oversees copywriting, editing, graphic design, photography, web mastering, conducting interviews, undertaking research, videography, and supervision of the creative team. She is a talented publisher, writer, and also registered on multiple projects as a day rate consultant with MFAT, DFAT, World Bank, UNICEF, and other project-based service organizations. Susan, thank you for having you today.
It's great to be here, Melanie.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Maria Ronna Luna Pastorizo-Sekiguchi. She is the founder of the Greenhouse Studio, multidisciplinary creative design and communications-based studio based in Fiji that was born in 2014 with the philosophy that finding creative solutions can inspire real change in the world. The same conviction led Greenhouse together with partners like Market Development Facility to launch Greenhouse Co-working in 2021. This is Fiji's first private sector-owned full-service virtual and in-person co-working community. Ronna contributes her expertise and leadership in many organizations, including a branding and marketing coach for FCEF's Fiji Enterprise Engine. She is the immediate past president of the Graduate Women in Fiji, former Pacific Greenpreneurship Program mentor, Vital Voices Global Ambassador, Vivi Grow Fellow, and Obama Foundation leader and TEDx speaker. Welcome, Ronna, and thank you for joining us today. So let's
Inaka.
Inaka.
Thank you, Melanie.
Welcome,
Happy
Ronna.
to be
Thank
here.
you. So let's start to talk about our topic for today. Susan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen. I think you have to stop from your side, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just see how this goes. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
No. Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. Hold on. This per slideshow. Okay. All right. Can everyone also hear me clearly as well? All right. So let me know if I'm good to go.
Yes, you're good to go. Thank you,
All right.
Susan.
Cool. All right. Bulavinaka. Hello everyone. I'm Susan Yee from Webmedia South Pacific, and I'm very excited to be here to share with you today the exact system that we use to launch Pacific SMEs from a blank page to real customers in just 14 days or less. So first of all, I just want to share our company's overarching entrepreneurial philosophy, and it goes like this. Just make it exist. You can always make it good later. Making it exist is usually a massive entrepreneurial challenge, but making it better, well, that's just engineering. And so that sums up how we would recommend that you approach your first 2 weeks, making it exist and with a little bit of smart engineering thrown in. So our objective when working with any entrepreneur is to always ensure that they are following the #1 golden rule of small business, and that is happiness is a positive cash flow. So the system that I'm going to run through with you now is a system that is designed to generate you positive cash flow within the next 2 weeks, period. So I think I hear someone's mic in the background. Anyways, okay, let's carry on. When we work with clients, we inform them that we are going to tell your story, and we will tell it in a way that makes sure that that story will make you money. So are you all ready to make money? Are you guys ready? Okay, I will take that collective silence as a great big yes. And so let's begin. First, the bad news. 95% of the new Facebook pages in the Pacific get one or more of these 7 basic things wrong when they set up their Facebook page. Any one of these handled incorrectly can kill the reach on your sales right from day one. And the good news, well, we're gonna fix all 7 in the next slide. All right. So next slide you see, here are 7 things that 95% of Pacific SMEs get wrong when they set up a social media account. So the first one is wrong page category. Sorry, someone's mic is in the background. Okay. So the first one is wrong page category. So Facebook looks at the category, right? So if it says community or so blog instead of local business, shop, tour agency, restaurant, it silently gives your posts 70 to 90% less reach from day one. And that is even to your own followers. So this is still the #1 reach killer in the Pacific. Meta's algorithm heavily deprioritizes anything that isn't explicitly a business page. I see it weekly. A page that is stuck on a 20 to 40 reach suddenly jumps to 400 or over 1,000 the second the category is fixed. So zero other changes other than just fixing your category. So the second mistake is you don't have an accurate address or working phone. So if the address and phone number aren't filled in properly, you simply don't appear when someone who is nearby searching for gift shop in Silver or tours near me in Apia. You should know that in the Pacific, half of the initial Facebook traffic to SMEs comes from local discovery type searches. That's a near me type of search. So no address means that you're invincible in the local listings and in the map results. And the phone number, that is most often what people will actually click first. So the third mistake is when you use a personal profile instead of a page. So thousands of Pacific businesses are still running everything from their personal profile, and Facebook will eventually block your boosting if you are doing boosting, and they can absolutely delete your whole Facebook profile without warning. So here's a quick story. So Webmedia has been engaged by Meta directly on quite a few projects, and we once got called by a very big regional non-profit organization that had their Facebook page shut down because of some boosting problems. And we had to reach out on back channels and ask for a favor to have it reinstated. Otherwise, they would have permanently lost access to their Facebook page. If it can happen to the biggest organization around, it can certainly happen to you. So please be aware, Meta has been cracking down hard since 2014, well, mid-2024, and personal profiles that are caught doing business can get restricted or permanently banned. We have seen this, and it is immediate and devastating. So the fourth mistake we see is that your messaging is turned off or you don't have a WhatsApp button. So in the Pacific, 80% to 90% of actual sales will happen in the inbox, not the comments. So if your messaging is off or it's hard to find, customers will just message your competitor who answers in 2 minutes, and people online don't want to wait. This is the single biggest revenue leak that I see. WhatsApp is the real closer in Fiji, in Tonga, or Samoa. A page with their messaging turned off is throwing away money every single day. So, and the fifth mistake is that you have a cheap looking or missing profile / cover photo. So a first impression takes a half second. A clip up logo, an off-colored background, or a blurry photo instantly screams, do not trust this business. So we have a saying in our office, beware the fruit from a poison tree. So if the first thing they see looks all dodgy and weak, that's poison fruit, and they won't trust or eat from the tree. So the sixth mistake is no call to action button. So Facebook gives you free buttons, right? Call now, WhatsApp, get directions, book now. It's this simple. Not using one of these buttons is like opening your brand new shop and then hiding the front door. So these buttons sit right under the cover photo and create money-making clicks every month for almost every local business that turns them on. It's zero effort and it's big results. So the final one, which is the seventh one that we often see, is that you don't have your Instagram linked or it's not verified. So if Instagram isn't linked, you're doing double the posting. No verification, you don't have that blue tick equals lower trust, and lower reach on both platforms. So certain countries have Instagram as the biggest revenue generating platform. For example, in New Zealand, Instagram is better for sales than Facebook. In Australia, it's the opposite. Well, both platforms are great. So it makes sense to have both integrated, and you never want to do twice the work. Okay, so here's the bottom line for you all. So every single one of these 7 is still a genuine day one killer for Pacific SMEs. They are the exact 7 things I check and fix on every new client intake. And every single one of these moves, and every single one of these, when you're done correctly, immediately moves the needle immediately. So handle all 7 properly and you look like the person or business who knows exactly what they're doing. Drop any and you risk losing potential sales, and no one wants that, right? So now I have a real treat for you all. I know it's almost Christmas, so you can consider this like a pre-Christmas gift then. It's a super valuable checklist. Our next slide. So here you see, we have a full 30-item checklist that we actually use with every client. It's 30 ticks in under 30 minutes, zero cost.
Sorry,
I'm not gonna, sorry,
just
yeah.
You carry on, I wanna, can you, we can't see you. Your video is not on.
Yep. Okay. Let me turn on the camera. I thought it would help with the. Okay,
we would love to see you.
All right, there you go. You can see my face now.
That's
all right.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay. So I'm not gonna bore you all with going through the 30-item checklist, and I think I don't have time, and we don't have a lot of time anyway. But we'll go through some of the highlights very, very quickly. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen, there's a download link. So you can make a picture of the QR code or the special link on the website and grab the entire 30 free of charge, of course. So for the sake of time, I'm going to highlight some of these in a very quick machine gun style. So you guys ready? Okay, so the first one, make sure you pinpoint your location with a geo map pin. That way you will show up in the near me searches. The second one, be sure to save 5 quick replies. This responds fast, and it also buys you some time so that you can get to some place where you can take a bit of more time and reply back with more details. If you don't respond quick, remember your competitor will. The third one, in your about section, be sure to have 2 to 3 sentences about your business. Be sure to include, industry. Sorry. Be sure to include your industry keywords. This is what we call elevator pitch. So that means as you enter into an elevator, right? If someone asks you, so what do you do? By the time you've reached the bottom floor, they know exactly what you do. This helps people find you. It helps them understand you, and it helps Facebook to promote you properly. 4, reply to every old review. This is an instant trust rocket, and it says 3 things. 1, that you care. 2, that you support people who give you a good review. And 3, that you're responsive and you don't ignore things. 5, make sure that you have some featured photos. This is tied together with number 6, and that is make sure that you also have a very short highlight reel. It could be just a couple of photos that transition through. Some people do media searches right away, and some photos along with a video will make your page look instantly established. 7, make sure your message notifications are turned on. That's simple. Make sure that you never miss a sale again. 8, switch Instagram to professional, the same as Facebook. Make sure that it's not a personal page. 9, absolutely, positively be sure to pin your best post to the top. That is the one post of yours that generates the most trust. And 10, 11, 12, and 13, well, those 4 actually are our next and final slide. I will demonstrate 4 posts that you want to be making often in your early days to manifest immediate success. So we will get back to those later. Number 14, get your personal friends to like the page. You need to kickstart your page, and your friends are the ones who are most likely to share. So get them on board early. You know, like you would want to help them out, right? So let them help you. It's a free marketing kind of sort of way. And 15, and 15, the most important one, be sure to download the full 30-item checklist at our website, which you see on the screen right now. Also, you can scan the QR code, just take a screenshot. Like I mentioned, screenshots are very handy. So I'll let you guys do that before I move on. Give me a thumbs up when you get really set for me to move on. All right, cool. All right, and now you can confidently know that when you have downloaded and wrapped up this checklist, your page will be more complete than 99% of the Pacific users on Facebook. Congratulations! Now you are every bit as big as a Fortune 500 company on Facebook. Now let's go get the sales volume for them. Well, all the great setup work has been done, and now you have a much bigger audience that will be seeing your posts. So it's finally time to make sure that your Facebook page will be selling in both a way that immediately begins to build up trust, and most importantly, that you will sell your product or service to its maximum potential. So now let's look at the 4 types of posts that you absolutely need to know and that you need to make early and often in order to generate the best revenue. All right, next slide. Okay, so do you see that? Okay, so for our first example, we have a coffee shop here, and this one is called the Blast Your Phone Number Everywhere post. So if you want your customers to screenshot things, like I mentioned, screenshot the QR code, right? So this is example, screenshotting something. So it's pretty simple. Tell them to screenshot this, and bingo, this one type of post can easily get 5 send calls in the next 48 hours. Include your hours, your location, your phone number, WhatsApp, and your name. Make it look cool, and again, tell them what to do. This is called call to action, and well done call to actions will make you money. This right here should absolutely be your first post, and don't feel shy to repeat it every month or 2. The second one, we have a fiberglass longboard manufacturer, and this is what we call the local proof post. So now this one is all about trust. I keep coming back to the word trust, and that means everything. And what you want here is a happy customer photo. People buy benefit, and a happy customer selling, and people buy benefit, right? And a happy customer smiling shouts out 1,000 words of "I got benefit from this company." So every few days, post up one of these and be sure to tag your location, and this creates boom, a trust explosion. So third, we have a Fiji mat weaving group, and this post is called the Scarcity Offer Post. So this is the type of post that pays your rent, and maybe even the rest of your overhead. So what do I mean? This post is your new and best salesperson. What we are doing here is creating what we call a sense of urgency. So people generally need impetus to take action. And impetus is defined as a force that moves something along. Losing out on a great opportunity can be a powerful force. This post is based on the force of time, availability, and price. We all know that everybody wants a special deal, and this is the ultimate special deal post. As you can see, we have 3 powerful impetus covered in this one post. We've got time, this week only. We've got availability, only 10 left, and price, marked down to $99. So now, when you all start making more money, please do make sure that you get my address correct and start sending me my commission checks. I'm in Fiji, Suva, Turak, so all right. Okay, let me go back to my next slide. Okay, so now that's the 4 golden posts that I've just quickly gone through. And again, the strategy here is that once a day, you rotate in one of these 4 posts every day over the next 2 weeks, first 2 weeks. And you'll be building up exactly the type of content and credibility and trust that you are going to need in order for people to find you online and want to buy your product and services. Well, there you go. You are now hereby a certified BLP startup social media expert. Give yourself a tap on the back. Yay. And that's it. You're all now graduate astronauts ready to pilot your own rocket ship into the business arena. So let's wrap up. So number one, first, you need to avoid the critical mistakes the seminar just went through. Number two, you need to complete the 30-item self-checklist. And finally, number three, you make these 4 types of posts earlier, the ones I've just gone through, and often, and you'll have real customers in just a few days or even weeks, right? And before I conclude, I'm just gonna this water, hold on. Excuse me. And let me end with this. Sorry, let me go back. Final thing to leave you all with before I log off. Well, not log off, but we have yet another saying in our office: no good work ever goes wasted. Someday, somewhere, all good work is either used again or it brings back good karma later. So work hard at setting up things properly and making some exciting and cool initial posts, and then it's all aboard the good karma train. So I wish you all the very best of luck. Thank you, Andrea Vakalevo, for having me on this forum. Back to you, Valani. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. It has been a very short, sweet, and insightful presentation. You've covered what could go wrong and what you can do better. And thanks for that. Just a question on if an SME is listening. I mean, a lot of SMEs are now tuned in and listening. How many times a day, a week, or what's the frequency that you would see as an effective frequency of posting for one particular post?
Yeah, I did mention to post often, but then you also don't want to be spamming, right? So people sometimes don't want to be seeing things so many times in the newsfeed. So I would recommend maybe 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you got 3 posts a week, not every day, right? Because that's like spamming. So yeah, I would recommend just do it 3 times a week on those, whatever days you want, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or put in the weekend as well. So yeah, 3 a week, and don't do it every day. That's kind of like almost spamming, and people will just unfollow your page.
Thank
Hope that
you.
helps.
Oh, thank you, Susan, for this insightful presentation. Thank you so much. We'll have a Q&A session later on after Ronna has presented, but thank you again for your time. And I'm sure a lot of people that are listening are very appreciative of your presentation. Thank you so much. I'm going to be giving this time to Ronna. If you're ready, please take us away with your presentation.
Thank you, Vileni. Ange said that the presentation was going to be manned from your side,
Yes.
unless you want me to share from my side.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra. While Sandra is putting that up, thank you very much for inviting me. And Susan, it's lovely to see you again. I think the last time we met was at Outsource Fiji. I think we met at that time. That was really practical, and I love that because like I think for entrepreneurs and small business owners, because oftentimes they do not have a separate team doing their social media. We really need to be practical on what they can do themselves, because oftentimes I know as an entrepreneur myself that oftentimes you have to do everything from finance, social media, things you don't know about, but you have to learn because now you're running your business. So I think my presentation is building on what Susan has shared. Like she kept talking about building trust, and which is really it's very important. I mean, not just in social media, but everything to do with your business. So I will talk more about trust in terms of building consistency visually and in social media terms, and also deep diving a little bit more on content. Like really great that she showed 4 posts that are so important. So in my presentation, I'd like for you to think more about creating more content in those areas, and how do you create content? Like after those posts, what else can you do? So I'll just do a bit more of a deep dive on that. So if we can go to the next slide, please. Thank you, Sandra. Here, this is one of my most favorite quotes about marketing, which obviously also relates to social media marketing. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. When somebody does a hard sell to you, you're usually like, I don't know. They say don't trust the car salesman, because they're such sweet talkers and you don't know whether you trust them or not. Because they feel like they're really marketing to you, and they want you to buy, and they're really selling it to you, right? It doesn't feel good. But the best type of marketing doesn't feel like marketing. And Caitlin Morgan, a well-known marketer, expounded that a bit more. She said, apart from marketing, entertain me, educate me, inspire me, delight me. Don't just market to me. So when you're thinking about the content, what are you going to post? And you have to create your own posts because you don't have anybody else. Maybe you have a daughter, a young millennial, part of the family, a cousin, or whatever, who can help you. But oftentimes, if it's you, what type of posts, and do you even have time to do this, right? So we all in all my in our master classes, I tell them, well, think about it. If the content does not entertain, does not educate, does not inspire, and does not delight your customers, don't post it, because it'll just be part of the noise, right? So what's that entertaining? Depending on your brand, it could be emotional, or it could be humorous, it could be funny, or it could be like, even though what a TikTok is so big, dance is entertaining, skits are entertaining. Educate is informational. Phone numbers, where can you find your shop, like what is your industry, your business's industry, and what are those facts that will help educate your customers on why it's important. Inspiring, sharing your customer reviews and how it's changed their lives because they've used your product or your service is inspiring. That's just one example, right? And the lighting is, this is more like a customer experience marketing. Whatever they experience with you is so amazing that it becomes viral, that they want to share what delighted them about your business. So when you're thinking about your content, if it doesn't entertain your customers, it will not educate them, it will not inspire them, and it will not delight them, don't post that content. Next slide, please. Thank you, Sandra. So I call this the trifecta of social media. What's very important when you show yourself, your business out there on your Facebook page, on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn, if you're a consultant or if you're a services business, right? These 3 things, if there's anything that I would like for you to remember, if there's only 3 things, because of the amount of information you got, I would like for you to remember these 3 things. Your social media pages, your social media presence should show your integrity. Meaning, are you delivering your promise? The promise that you make your customers, that who you say you are, what you say you're going to do you do that? How do you show that? How do you show your integrity to your customers? You can show that in your post, depending on how other people, like the local proof that Susan was saying, that's a way to show your integrity. It's also a way to show your authenticity, because with that type of post, you're being real and personal. Now remember, social media is huge for us small businesses, for smaller entrepreneurs, because it really levels the playing field with other corporate and other bigger organizations. Right now, there has been, in the last few years, there has been an ongoing distrust amongst corporations and organizations by people. And what's with social media is that when people know they are working and they are supporting other people, real people on the other side, these small businesses, it's real, it's personal, it's authentic. And when I talk about consistency, the third one, are you being consistent in all aspects? So it's not just the text that you use in your posts, like the visual aspects too. Is your logo there? You know, the photos that you show visually, does it look consistent? Does it feel like it comes from the same business or entrepreneur, or is it all over the place? What's the vibe like? You know, your brand, is it fun? Is it serious? Is it more like professional in a way that, for example, if you're an accounting firm, like what is the vibe of your accounting firm? What is the vibe of your bakery? Like it needs to be consistent in all those aspects, because inconsistency breeds distrust, right? So if people feels like visually, oh, I don't know if I can trust this small business, they won't bother. Yeah, I mean, like there's so many other businesses out there, so much. Like, how do you cut through that noise? How do you rise above? So you need to have integrity. You need to show that you are delivering your promise to your customer. You need to show that you are real and personal, that you're not just like this business. You know, show your staff, tell them your story, how you started your business. Then how consistent is the look, the vibe, even the verbal, like your voice in your social media presence? Is it consistent? I have like a very short checklist as well to check on that consistency later. Can you go to the next slide, please? I think I have some examples after this. Okay, so you know when Susan mentioned something about the profile, like as part of the checklist, because I work, one of the big topics I usually work on with the entrepreneurs that I coach is on using storytelling for marketing. So I'm sharing with you a formula wherein it's in a story format, but it's a very, very short story format. Like being a story format means like this formula tells people who you are, like what your business is all about in one sentence, which you can use in your profile bio, which highlight your unique selling proposition, your unique offering, and at the same time, it's in a story arc, because a storytelling format usually talks about a hero, which is in this case you, your role, and then it talks about the sometimes the challenge of being your customers reaching their goal, or the hero reaching its goal, and then at the end it shows the transformation or the change that happens. It's like every other story arc that works out there. You meet a hero who has some challenges, who needs to go through certain things before they transform and become, better. You can literally name all of the big blockbuster movies out there. It follows the same story arc. So we use that formula in marketing, and in this case, your profile bio. So it's as simple as something like this. You can do it very quickly for yourself. You can say, who are you? Like, what's your role as a business? Who help which particular audience or audiences do you help? What do you offer to them? And what happens afterwards? What benefits do they receive? And how are they transformed? You can try creating this as a just one sentence and use that. And immediately your message is clear. There's clarity. And they know what you offer, they know who you are, and they know what your promise is. Your statement is your promise. So this slide is on integrity. What promise are you making, and are you delivering it? Next slide, please. Another formula you can use is this. What's your action? Like, do you help other business owners? Do you help farmers? Do you build apps? Do you create designs? Who are your target clients? So it's very specific. Like customers, maybe your customers are like farmers in Apia, or very specific, like maybe like students regionally, in the Pacific. And what's your solution? The next one shows an example, a very short, simple example. The next slide of this one. So this is like an example of that. Very, very simple. The action, the target client, the solution. You know, this is your promise. You put in your profile bio. It'll gather trust, and it will get people to understand immediately on what you're here for. And yeah, so next slide, please. That's an example of integrity. Okay, some other examples. How do you show your integrity on your pages? Customer reviews, highlighting that local proof, right? That is showing your integrity. Another example. Next slide, please. Right, like if you have PR, that's great, because if you know your PG Times or other newspapers or magazines or online news are writing about you, it shows integrity. It shows that, okay, we should take notice, of this business. And if your actual customers are writing about you and talking about you without you prompting them to do that, if they're sharing it from their own pages, you can ask your customers to do that too, to tag you. That's really great, because it gathers even more trust, because you didn't write the post. Somebody else wrote the post about you. Next slide. Next slide, please, Sandra. Right. Okay. An example of how do you show your authenticity, your realness. If you say that you are a business that's really how do I say this? Who's like an eco business, for example. I wanted to give you an example. Ethic is a New Zealand-based business. They're based in Christchurch, and you can find they sell bars of shampoo, right? And their thing is their goal is they want to get rid of shampoo bottles around the world, and they're very particular about their eco footprint. So they created the Ethic Foundation. I just wanted to share that they show the world that they are authentic to the point where they even created an actual foundation on what it is they stand for, on what they believe in. So these are just sample posts, from their Ethic Foundation and Instagram. Can we go to the next slide, please? Right, like so they feature the people that they work with at this foundation. So they show through their posts that they're doing something about it. They're not just greenwashing or telling people, oh, we're eco-friendly, we do this, but they show proof. They show that they're actually doing something, and here it is. They're authentic, they're real. Next slide. Okay, so some examples of the last trifecta. So integrity, authenticity, and then consistency. I just want to show you like visually, like this is Ethic again. What does it look like? Like look at the visual look. This is on their YouTube channel. You see their profile photo is their logo, and then you can see their main image like on top. Look at the colors. You can even read their voice, the text that they use. It has the same vibe. If we go to the next slide, you'll see like another one of their social media. Right, this is their Facebook page. And even if it's different imagery, it's from the same company. That, wow, it's professional. Like, I can trust this company. Like, they know what they're doing. Can you go to the next page, please? So just very simply, you want to check on how you're doing in terms of whether your customers will trust you because you're consistent. These are just some questions that you can ask, yourself. How does your branding make you feel? How does it make your customers feel? And look at your branding element, your logo, your colors, your voice, your images. Are all your avatars the same? Or is that profile photo your profile photo and the other profile photo on Instagram is another photo? People might get confused. You need clarity here. That's why the profile bio is important as well. You need to have the same clear message all around. Do your backgrounds and other images that you use, do they follow the theme, your branding? Are all your statements and descriptions and URLs uniform? For example, you can choose the same name for all of your social media pages it's your specific URL. Like for us, we use Greenhouse VG. We use Greenhouse Co-work for Greenhouse Co-working. Our Instagram is Greenhouse Co-work. Our Facebook is also, Greenhouse Co-work. Are yours the same, or are they all different? And then lastly, does your content entertain, educate, or inspire your customer? Yeah. And this one I just added here because you also need to be looking at what your competitors are doing. We have very small markets here, and you might find gaps that you're able to fill. And you can really see where you can shine most uniquely as a small business, wherever you are. So you need to be aware of what's happening. Listen to your customers, look at what your competitors are doing, and you can help each other out by providing things that they're probably not providing. Yeah, so this is just a very simple content and consistency check, but hopefully a little bit of a deep dive looking at content and consistency will help you in your social media journey. I was wanting to talk about like even planning and managing your social media channels, like a very short like slide on tips, but I believe there's going to be a separate webinar on managing social media, because I think as a small business owner, it's important not only to understand how do you do these things, but create a system for it, because otherwise it ends up not being done, and you end up having like a Facebook page there, but you haven't posted in like a month or more. So apart from understanding all these, I hope you'll continue your journey to actually creating a system for yourself, so you're able to help yourself in your business and really shine out there. Good luck, everybody, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Vinaka.
Thank you, Rona, for this very insightful and practical presentation. Yes, as you mentioned, for a small business, having all this it shows that you have to put a lot of effort and time into creating a social media page, and not just being there, but being interactive with your audiences, your customers through the page and stuff. So just a question, just a suggestion before I open it for people in the audience. Just some of your inputs, if I may ask. If, say, somebody's listening now and is a sole proprietor and is wanting to, grow, is still growing in that in his or her business stage, what would you suggest to them on how to manage their page? Would you suggest having someone else do it, or they do it by themselves? But what are some of the tips that you can give for effectively managing a page as a sole proprietor?
So I thank you, Valerie, for that question. I understand that a lot of proprietors or business owners do not have the means to hire like a special social media coordinator, for their business. They're still growing their business, right? So a lot of times I find that they want to learn because it generates revenue, and they can push their brand out there, their business out there. So my tips would be, if you have someone like immediate family members who are willing to help you without, like maybe even an intern, in a social media intern, that could be part of the business to help support, because you need to focus on strategy and creating your product, more than social media. It'll be great to do that if you have someone that can assist, but obviously give them direction on what they need to be doing, right? But they can do all the filming, the photos, putting it together using Canva, to create a professional looking post. It does take time. However, if you absolutely do not have the means to do that, you can also do it yourself. You just have to create a system. Like, you have to be really organized. You have to set aside a few hours, say 1 day a week, to create and schedule your post. You need to create a plan, even if it's just in an Excel sheet, to create a plan. What are those posts going to be like in the next 2 weeks? Susan had mentioned, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Maybe Monday is all about inspiring your customer, so post about inspiring your customers. Then Wednesday could be everything to do about educating your customers, like informational posts. And then Friday could be, entertaining, because it's Friday, entertaining posts. And so you can get that ready in the posts, and then set aside time to schedule all of them, create a schedule of, let's say, 2 to 3 hours every week, to ensure that you have some consistency in your pages. And I guarantee you will enjoy it too. Like you will learn from doing that, from setting time aside. But yeah, it's like blocking and organizing your time around it, because you don't want it to be taking up like every day. You've got so many things to do. That's what I would suggest to make it manageable. Because remember, you're growing your business. There's so many things. There's not enough time all the time. So
Thank
really
you.
have to manage that well. Yes, thank you, Valeni.
Thank you, Ronna. Thank you so much. So we have the time now for any questions. I see a question in the chat box from Sandra to Susan. What are the 7 mistakes? What of the 7 mistakes is the worst mistake
To make. Hello?
Yes, that's the question, Susan. What's the worst mistake to make out of the 7 that you introduced us to earlier on?
All right, yeah. So what I mentioned earlier is that one of the 7 mistakes that you can make is not having like a contact number or even a location on your Facebook page, right? So this is a funny example I have. So I usually scroll on my Facebook feed, right? And I see like a restaurant, a cafe posting up a new menu or something, like something pop up my newsfeed, something's interesting, right? So I click on it to check out where they are, because I'm a foodie. I like to go eat food. So if they're in Suva, it's good for me because I'm in Suva. If they're in Nandi, that's kind of hard because it's 3 hours away from Suva. So that's very important for me, so I can know where the location is. Otherwise, if I'm not in Nandi, I can actually take a screenshot and go to Nandi and check them out later. So that's the importance of screenshots, right? So that's an example of a mistake that you can have, like not having a phone number or location on your Facebook page, so people can know to locate you and how to contact you when they get there. So yeah, number 1 mistake, not having a number and not having a location on your Facebook page. Otherwise, if they don't do that, they'll end up just like losing interest, or maybe if they have interest, they might even actually Google you up. So I sometimes do that. I Google them to find them. So yeah, but it's easier to have it all on your Facebook page, so people don't have to divert. So yeah.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you, Sandra. Another question for Ronna. What is the best social media platform?
Oh, thanks for that question, Sandra. There is no one-size-fits-all answer for this. It really depends on what your business is. Different social media platforms are strong in different things. In the Pacific, Facebook is the biggest. It's been around for so long. So many, a lot of the audiences or the markets from around the Pacific are on Facebook. So if you want to generate like mass, market social media, you should have a Facebook page. For example, if you're a consultant and you work with a lot of regional, international organizations, because say your business is on consulting, I would say you should be on LinkedIn for sure, even more than Facebook, because that's where you're able to show your expertise as a consultant. It really depends on your business, so you can't say one is better than the other. That answer lies on the type of business and who are your audiences. The only 2 social media platforms where your audiences are. That's the general rule of thumb. Where are your audiences? Where are they getting their information? That's where you should be, right? Yeah, that's how I'd answer that. Hope that helps.
Thank you, Ronna. So it comes down to our target customers. Who are we targeting, and what social media platform to use? We have another question here from Lawrence Nika. That's to either of you. How much money to spend on Facebook ads per month?
All right. Ronna, do you want to take that, or I answer that question?
Susan, go on. Go ahead.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
like, that's a hard question. Yeah, but go on. Yeah.
So the question, let me see, how much to spend, right? So for example, like we feel that Facebook advertising is the cheapest advertising you can get. We know that, traditional media like newspapers and TV ads are very expensive. So we find that advertising on Facebook through boosting, it's very cheap, and you get a lot more reach. So you can spend as little as $5, $5 USD per post running for like a few days, and you get a lot of results. And if you have more budget, you can increase that budget up. So it doesn't really matter how much you spend. So all that we can say is that Facebook boosting is very cost effective. It's very effective. It's very, you can see a lot of ROI, I can say, because you can track like who has seen your stuff, like the age group, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can see once you've done an ad campaign. You can see the results, and you can also like switch things up here and there to kind of like tweak it to what you really need. So technology is so great nowadays because you can do so much with it compared to digital media. So I think to answer the question, you can spend as much as you want, from $5 to even $100 per post. So it's really up to your budget. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I totally agree with Susan. I mean, just to add to that, like the wonderful thing about Facebook is you can see the analytics. So say you spent $5, right? And you can see how the ad is performing. And if you feel like there's a lot of engagement and ROI coming from it, put a bit more. So you can start small and increase depending on how it's performing.
Nice. Thank you both. I think we have 4 last questions. When would be the best time to post? And another one is, how can we measure or recognize signs that our audience feels overwhelmed by our posts? And then another one is, what strategies can businesses use to determine the ideal posting frequency? And how can we tell when we're posting too much?
So I think the best time to post is really, I feel it's not really a set time, but for me personally, I think in the evenings, because that's when everyone's back from work or after school, after dinner, you can like scroll through your social media. So I think in the evening is the best time to post, like maybe 7 p.m. But you can actually post in the mornings, but it really depends on your audience. So I think there's not really a set answer to this question. It depends on who you're targeting and who your audience are. So I hope that helps. Yeah.
Thank you. Someone is asking. Oh, sorry, Ronna, go ahead.
Valerie, you want me to answer the next one? How can we measure or recognize signs that our audience feels overwhelmed by our posts? And Unasa's question. So this one, you'll see that your audience are getting overwhelmed if the engagement drops. It's like it just becomes like noise, and then you just become part of the scenery. Like it's like, oh yeah, there's just too many posts, like they don't even want to follow or want to unfollow because they're being bombarded by too much. That's overwhelm. That's audience overwhelm. So yeah, that's, I think, if there's less and less engagement, like you better reassess like what's happening. Yeah.
Thank you. I think someone was asking if you are both available once in a while for further assistance to check on what they've done.
Hello. Do you want that to be through Business Link or just Viber or?
So Khaleesi, they're both. So you're both business advisors, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, I think we lost Melanie, but you're right that we, as BOP advisors, SMEs are able to engage through the proper channel, which will be contacting the BOP partner in country. In the case of Fiji, is BAF. In the case of Vanuatu, is the Chamber of Commerce, and is normally a Chamber of Commerce in your country. Through them, the business will be taken through a diagnostic and then referred to a specific advisor, like Susan or Rodney. And there are many ways for businesses to be supported through BLP through normally subsidies or grants. So that will be a matter of discussion with the in-country partner, like the chamber, and of course with the specific advisor.
Thank you, Sandra. So I've seen Ronna answering some questions in the chat box. That's very kind of you, Ronna. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I think that's all the questions that we've addressed in the chat box. Thank you to those joining online. I've seen acknowledgement here from where is this? A Farmers Association. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. I believe this session has been helpful to everyone that has joined, just seeing from the reactions that are coming up. Thank you so much for joining. And I think this is one of the sessions that has quite a high number of participants that have joined our webinar. And thank you very much all for joining. And thank you, Susan and Ronna, for making time and giving very insightful information and presentation to our audiences. I'm sure they'll be taking a lot of these things to their businesses, and I'm pretty sure you will all be getting more businesses through BLB as well, as we have seen from the chat box. Thank you so much, and I think this brings us to the end of our session today. Once again, thank you, and keep an eye out. We'll be putting out posts for any upcoming webinars that could benefit businesses that are joining from the region BLB is in. Thank you once again, and Merry Christmas to everyone who's watching, and a Happy New Year. Thank you again.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy
Thank
20.
you. Merry
Bye.
Christmas, everybody.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
New Year.